Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into my cEDH deck, the Nothing That Is, helmed by Thalia and the Gitrog monster. This absent beast blends a mid-range ad nauseam strategy with land synergies and devastating combo lines to disrupt opponents and close out the games fast. If you love slowing down the table while setting up explosive wins, stick around, this deck tech is for you. Let's start with the commander. Thalia and the Gitrog monster for 1 white, a black and a green, so absent +1. You get a 4/4 human frog horror with first strike and death touch, plus you may play an additional land on each of your turns. Creatures and non-basic lands your opponents control enter tapped, and whenever it attacks, sack a creature or land, then draw a card. Fetch lands, they're sad. Your opponents, sadder. If they want to win with a hasty army, they're tapped out of luck. You're unaffected, building your board with no slowdown. Unless someone copies it, then everybody's sad. I built this deck to thrive in cEDH with its low curve and mid-range ad nauseam plan. The commander slows your opponents so they can't play on curve, while extra land drops give us more mana for spells. My stacks pieces, if you can call them that, are asymmetrical, hitting only opponents. We got Tutors, Protection, and Interaction to win by turn 3 or 4. The goal? Set up one of two main combo lines, Chain of Smog plus Witherbloom Apprentice for infinite life drain, or Protean Hulk into a loop with Samwise Gamgee. Let's break down the combos. First, the Alt-Wing con, Chain of Smog targeting yourself, discard 2 cards and copy it, targeting yourself again. Each cast or copy triggers Witherbloom Apprentice, draining each opponent for 1 life. The beauty, no cards needed in your hand to keep going. Even empty, you can keep copying it forever, draining the table for 0. How, you may ask? Because the discard is part of the effect, not part of the cost. Easy. If your hand is empty, however, your opponents can start to interact, but we got Protection, we got Grand Abolisher or Silence for that. But how do we get there? Easy. Tutors like Demonic Tutor, Vampiric Tutor, and Imperial Seal find these fast, while ad nauseam draws us a big chunk of the deck to hit that critical win mass. Or we do what the deck really wants to do, get that Hulk and sack it. Use Phyrexian Tower, Viscera Seer, or Thalia and Gitrog's attack trigger. When Hulk dies, fetch Samwise Gamgee, that's 2 mana, Cauldron Familiar, 1 mana, Viscera Seer or Carrion Feeder, also 1 mana, and Grand Abolisher, 2 mana, that's 6 mana, right on target. Samwise sees 3 creatures enter and makes 3 food tokens, then sack Cauldron Familiar to a sack outlet, we already have one. Use a food token to return it, draining 1 life each time you do this. Samwise triggers, making another food, and so on, repeat until everyone's dead and buried. It's life loss, not damage, so the One Ring's protection won't save your opponents. Grand Abolisher locks out interaction, as I mentioned, and Silence can be used to disrupt proactively. The Tutors I mentioned earlier find Hulk too, but we also got Natural Order, Finale of Devastation, or Entomb Reanimate. I'm a Reanimator stan. To make this work in cEDH, we also got, Fast Mana, Soul Ring, Lotus Petal, Chrome Mox, and many more. I'm sure you already checked out the full deck list and I've probably already put it here. Plus you can also find it in the description box of this video. More Tutors, Protection, card draw in a sweet package. Trust me, this deck is a blast. Way more fun than I expected. And I usually don't play Staxy decks. I am for sure going to revisit it one day. Speaking of revisits, I just posted my Tarkir Dragonstorm cEDH review. Check it out. Annotations are in the description box. There, I mentioned cards I'd love to play here, like Nature's Rhythm, a green X sorcery that searches your library for a creature with mana value X or less and puts it onto the battlefield. It's another green Tutor straight to the field. I love Tutors. It can't search the graveyard like Finale. I would have played the Invasion of Ikoria for flexibility, and obviously Voice of Victory too, but that's a no-brainer. And I just have to add that yes, I do have a pet card here, that's Into the Pit, an enchantment for 2 and a black. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast spells from the top of your library by sacrificing a non-land permanent, in addition to paying their other costs. Yes, it's basically another sacrifice outlet with a little top deck manipulation, and spoiler, maybe a Sensei's top would benefit here too, but you don't have to play this deck 1-to-1. You can always add your own flavor, twist, or more optimal cards. Anyways, back to the deck as I played it in onto mulligans, since you ask about this a lot. In cEDH, your opening hand sets the pace. Here are 4 examples and whether to keep or maul. Example 1. Soul Ring, Dark Ritual, Ad Nauseam, Demonic Tutor, Vampiric Tutor, Mana Vault, and Bloodstained Mire. A Dream Hand, Fast Mana, Rituals, and Ad Nauseam with 1 land. It's a keep, set up an early Adnos and win fast. But Nose responsibly at the end step before untapping this early. Example 2. Bayou, Scrubland, Gemstone Caverns, Sylvan Library, The Wandering, Natural Order, Shifting Woodland. 4 lands, no fast mana, Natural Order with no creature, slow. But if you're not the starting player, Gemstone into a Sylvan Library turn 1 might get you there. Risky, depends on the pot. I'd mulligan unless it's a grindy table. Example 3. Lotus Petal, Mox Opal, Chrome Mox, Grand Abolisher, Witherbloom Apprentice, Chain of Smog and Veil of Sour. Fast mana and a combo, with protection but no lands. And no lander feels sad, even with this heat. I'd mulligan, you need mana to cast obviously, you can't just keep this and do nothing for like 3-4 turns. Example 4. Mana Confluence, Gemstone Caverns, Lionside Diamond, and Tomb, Reanimate, Protean Hulk, Viscera Seer. Hulk in hand with Reanimation and fast mana. LED's awkward here, but if you're mulliganing to 6, bottom Hulk, and if you're not the starting player, gemstoning that LED turn 1 could work. Pod again matters. Maybe I'd keep this, it's 50-50. Now let's summarize. This isn't a stacks deck, it's a mid-range ad nauseam deck. And we like to do that often at the end step, because we have a nice low curve, for the most part. Thalia and the Gitrog monster shine here, because your opponent's creatures and non-basic lands enter tapped. That's a tempo play. It's a great blocker / attacker with Death Touch and First Strike. You ramp with extra land drops and fast mana while they stumble. You got 2 compact combos that win early, backed by tutors and protection. It's resilient with interaction to handle threats. In a meta of turbo combos and optimized mana bases, this deck punishes others while executing its plan. And that's the nothing that is cEDH deck tech. If you're wondering why it's called that, it's based on the album from Fit for an Autopsy. Because, there never was a stacks ad nauseum deck. Or there never was a mid-range ad nauseum deck that was in absent colors. Until now. Or maybe there was. This deck is a brutal mix of disruption and combos, fun to pilot and even more fun to watch your opponent squirm. If you tried or you enjoyed what I talked about today, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, smash that like button, subscribe and comment with your favorite cEDH deck. Maybe one of those I'll bring to the table? I am Death and I will see you all behind the veil.